The Fifth Element wasn't just a sci-fi movie, it was a director's obsession that should have collapsed under its own weight. Luc Besson spent 22 years building it. Bruce Willis read the script in a hallway. Prince walked away from the role, and Besson's wife watched him fall in love with another woman on set. This isn't a success story. It's what happens when chaos, ego, and bad decisions somehow align just enough to not destroy each other. Because at multiple points, this film should have died. Too expensive. Too weird. Too personal. Studios didn't fully understand it. Actors didn't always take it seriously. And half the decisions shouldn't have worked. And somehow it didn't collapse. It slipped through anyway. And that's exactly why it feels the way it does. Number 1. A 16-year-old built this to escape reality. Luc Besson didn't start this as a film. He started it as an escape. 16 years old, isolated, bored. So he built something bigger than his life. Aliens, weapons, ancient evil, a woman falling from the sky. It wasn't a pitch, it was survival. 22 years later, that teenage fantasy became a $90 million production. And that's exactly why the world feels so strange. Because it wasn't designed for logic. It was built to get someone out. Number 2. The original script was uncontrollable. The first script wasn't a movie. It was a problem. 400 pages, 3 films, entire civilizations that never made it to screen. Studios didn't refine it. They rejected it. Too long, too expensive, too much. So Besson cut it down. Hard. Planets gone. Characters erased. Whole systems removed. What survived wasn't the full story. It was what couldn't be cut anymore. Fragments forced together into something that barely holds. And that's why the film feels overloaded. Because it's a compressed universe, not a clean narrative. You're not watching a structured story. You're watching something that survived being reduced. Number 3. Stallone wanted it too badly. Mel Gibson passed. Then Sylvester Stallone called. He didn't negotiate. He wanted it. Badly. A sci-fi lead. A franchise role. Besson said no. Too heavy. Too intense. That decision matters. Because if Corbin Dallas feels slightly detached, slightly tired, slightly uninterested, that's the point. And that tone disappears completely with the wrong actor. Sometimes casting doesn't fix a movie. It prevents it from breaking. Number 4. Willis said yes without a deal. Luc Besson didn't go through agents. He went to Bruce Willis directly, handed him the script, waited in a hallway. 2 hours. No pressure. No negotiation. Just time. Willis finished it. Walked out. I'll do it. No contract games. No leverage plays. He took less money for back-end profit. The film made $263 million, and that's exactly why this works. Because it didn't start as a transaction. It started as a decision. Number 5. Milla Jovovich failed before she fit. Her first audition failed. Completely. Too polished, too controlled, too perfect. Besson didn't want that. Weeks later, he saw her again. No makeup, hungover, unfiltered. That was Lilu. Second audition? She embarrassed herself, danced badly, spoke nonsense. And that's why it worked. Because Lilu isn't refined, she's raw. And that only works if the performance isn't trying to impress. Number 6. The language was real. And private. The alien language wasn't decoration. It was functional. 400 words. Grammar. Structure. Besson and Jovovich learned it. Then they started using it. To talk. To write. To hide conversations no one else could understand. Mid-shoot, it became something else. A private channel. Something no one else on set could access. What sounds like nonsense on screen is actually communication. Hidden meaning. Real intention. And that's why it feels real. Because it wasn't fake to the people speaking it. It was personal, long before it was cinematic. Number 7. His wife was in the film while he moved on Maiwen. His wife. She played the diva, saved the production when the original actress dropped out. While she was on screen, Besson was falling for Jovovich off it. Language lessons turned into something else. By the time filming ended, he left his wife and married Milla, then divorced her 2 years later. The film holds all of that, and that tension doesn't disappear. It stays in the performance. Up to this point, it was chaos. From here on, it starts breaking things. Reputations, expectations, and any idea that this film was ever under control. Number 8. Prince walked away from it. Prince almost played Ruby Rhod. He loved the script. Then he saw the costumes. Too much. That's coming from Prince. He walked. Chris Tucker didn't. And turned the character into something louder, faster, and completely unignorable. That's the difference. One actor saw risk. The other turned it into identity. And once Tucker commits, the film shifts. Because now it's not trying to be normal anymore. It's fully embracing the chaos. Number 9. Gary Oldman didn't care about the film. Gary Oldman has said it himself. He doesn't like this movie. So why was he in it? Because he owed Besson. Besson financed nail by mouth. Oldman returned the favor. That's it. No passion, no deep connection, just obligation. And somehow, that still works. Because Zorg doesn't feel grounded. He feels disconnected. And that accidental detachment fits perfectly. Number 10. 1,000 costumes broke the limit. Jean-Paul Gaultier didn't design costumes. He overwhelmed the film with them. 1,000 outfits. Not leads. Everyone. 5,000 sketches. Fast food workers in couture. Extras treated like runway models. It wasn't efficient. It wasn't controlled. And that's why it still looks unmatched. Because it wasn't built within limits. It ignored them. Number 11. The bandage costume was real discomfort. The outfit wasn't designed to look comfortable. It wasn't comfortable. Mila hated it. Cold, restrictive, exposed. Crew reactions made it worse. But that discomfort stayed in the performance. Lilu doesn't look stable. She looks vulnerable. And that's exactly why the design works. Number 12. A forklift almost erased the film. The diva scene almost disappeared. Not creatively, physically. Film reels got run over at LAX. Destroyed. Editors rebuilt what they could. Frame by frame. Shot by shot. That scene isn't just impressive. It survived damage. And if it disappears, the entire emotional rhythm of the film collapses with it. That's how fragile this movie actually was. Number 13. The hero and villain never meet. Corbin and Zorg never share a scene, not once. No confrontation, no dialogue. That wasn't an accident. Besson designed it that way. Two forces moving toward the same outcome without awareness. That separation makes the story feel bigger. Because it's not personal, it's inevitable. Number 14. Critics missed it completely. Cannes hated it. Walkouts, dismissal, criticism. Too loud, too messy. Audiences didn't care. They connected with it anyway. And that's where the shift happens. Because once audiences decide something works, critics stop mattering. And the film stops being judged and starts becoming iconic. Number 15. The explosion was real. No CGI. One take. Massive indoor explosion. No safety net. The crew had one chance. Today, it wouldn't happen. Back then, Besson lit it anyway. And that's why it feels different. Because it wasn't simulated. It was captured. Bonus. Multipass was never supposed to exist. Multipass wasn't planned. It was a mistake. Mila kept saying it wrong. Besson kept it. And it stuck. Because the film isn't clean. It's built on things that shouldn't work. And sometimes, that's exactly what makes them stick. The fifth element shouldn't exist the way it does. Too chaotic. Too personal. Too uncontrolled. Too many things went wrong. Too many decisions should have failed. And yet none of them killed it. It didn't follow rules. It survived ignoring them. And that's why you can't replicate it. Because this wasn't design. This was survival.